Last week, some people had trouble editing new HTML files, saving them, and then uploading them to the personal path space. In this little video, I'll demonstrate how to do that step by step. I'm going to be using a Windows computer. However, 99.9% of the things we're going to talk about also apply to a Mac. Here you see before you in Notepad, Windows Notepad, a set of HTML code. I have not yet saved it. When I want to create an HTML file in Windows or in text or on a Mac, we do not want to use things like Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word and related technologies are word processors. They are not text editors. Windows Notepad and TextEdit on the Mac are examples of text editors. Editors that work with simple text, not text that you can bold or underline or things like that. We just want a simple text editor. Notepad is the easiest one to use, however there are others. Now, I'm going to save this. One of the big challenges you have in Windows is that depending on how your system is set up, sometimes they hide the file extension from you when you save and or open a file. We have to be particularly aware of that here because we have to make sure that we save this as an HTML file. So I'm going to go to the File menu and Save As. And when it comes up here, and let's see, I'll put it here in my trash folder. When it comes up here, you'll notice down here where it says Save As Type, it says Text Documents, star.txt. If you simply type a name in here and hit Save, it will save it as a text file, not an HTML file. We need that HTML extension so that when we load the file, the browser will know what to do with it. So what I need to do is change this from text documents to all files. You'll notice here that our window changes a bit because I have some extra stuff here. So what I'm going to do is, just for clarity, I'll get rid of this junk. This is just kind of a temporary folder I use to store things to download. So what I'm going to do here is save this file as my upload page .html, and that .html is very important. And when I save it, you'll notice up here it says my upload page .html in the title bar. Now if you're on Windows, I mentioned Notepad is the easiest thing to use. However, there is an alternative I can recommend. The alternative is a free download called Notepad++. Now here's what Notepad++ looks like in comparison to Notepad. And I'll open this file. Notice here that it's the same text. It's just that Notepad++ does color code things. The HTML elements are color coded here in sort of a bluish purple. The normal straight text is in bold, black color, and you see things like attributes like href is highlighted in red. This is just a free alternative you can use. I recommend downloading it. It just makes it a little bit easier to do these things. However, let's deal with what we have. We've saved this file, so now I want to put it on my path space so I can load it into a web browser and see it on the internet. What I'm going to do is just minimize that, and I'm going to go to my Paths Explorer. Now when you go to your Paths Explorer and you log in, what you see here might look slightly different. I've had this for 16 years. I have a lot of junk in here. But what you want to do is look for this www folder. Now be careful because there's a www_protected folder. That's something slightly different. That's if you want to upload things that you can hide from the rest of the internet and that can only be accessed by people from Penn State, for example. But we want this www folder. There's two ways to open it. One is to double click on it. Excuse me. And I guess that's pretty much the way we'll go. Now I have a lot of stuff in here. You're going to have probably far less. That's okay. But in this www folder, and it'll tell you up here, your current folder ends with this www, is where I want to put that file. To do this, I have to hit the upload button, which is on the left at the top. Now this allows me to choose up to 5 files at a time. So I'm going to choose my HTML file, which, let's see, would be in my trash. myuploadpage.html. Now you'll notice here that my file here has a Google Chrome icon. That's because Google Chrome is my default browser. Yours might look slightly different. It may have the E for Microsoft Edge. It might have a Firefox logo. It just depends what your default browser is. It's okay. So here I'm going to hit open. You'll notice the file name goes here. This auto extract checkbox is only useful for zip files. We're not going to deal with those in this course, so you really don't have to worry about it. But then I'm going to hit the upload button. Now this happens rather quickly. If you have an image file or something larger, it might take a little bit more time. But if I scroll down here, amongst all the other junk that I have here, you'll see myuploadpage.html. Now how do I view this on the internet? Everything that you put into your www folder is available. But the question becomes, how do I get at it? So what I'm going to do is open a new tab. If I type in http://www.personal, got to type it correctly, personal.psu.edu/ my username, which is JAS86, and for you it'll be something different. If I just hit that, it's going to take me to a specific web page. Now what web page it takes me to is this one here, index.html, which is in my www folder. Remember that index.html is the default page. If you type in a website name, it'll look for that page automatically. Now if you want a different page, like we want myuploadpage.html, I start with my base address here. This is my website. And after the username, I put another / and I type my upload page, oops, I spelled that wrong, upload page.html. Now notice here, it's the file name that of the file I just uploaded to that path space. When I bring it up, this is what comes up, and this is the page that I uploaded to the path space. But what I want to do is take a closer look here at this URL, www.personal.psu.edu/ your username, in my case JAS86. That is your base, or you can call it your root address in a sense. If you want to get at any files in your path space, as long as they're in the www folder, all you have to do is type that file name right after your base address, separated with a /, and it will take you to that page. For example, if I look at my path space, here's the page I just loaded, but I have some other stuff here. Like for example, schedule.html. This is an old file. I don't even remember what's in it. But if I want to view it, I simply change this to be schedule.html, the name of that file, and it will load it up. Now here, this is a different file, but again, it's in the same place. It's in this www folder. So remember, if you upload things to your www folder, the way to get at them in a web browser, the URL is www.personal.psu.edu/ followed by your username, followed by a / and the name of the file you want to load. One last thing before we end our video. Going back to the original HTML code, if I decide to make a change, like for example I want to change the background color here. Oh, I don't know, I'm just going to choose something wacky. Let's see, 00F1. I don't even know what color that is, we're just making a change. If I make that change, I have to save it, but before I can see it on the internet, I have to re-upload the file. I've made a change on my computer, so I need to actually upload it again to see the change on the internet. So I go back to my Path Explorer, I click my upload button, I choose the file I want, again myuploadpage.html, and I upload it. Now here, since I already uploaded it before, it'll warn me, hey, you're going to overwrite it. Are you sure that's what you're going to do? Sure it is. Now when you upload it, you won't see anything different here because all you did was replace one file with another. However, if I go and look at it, oh my, that's a very bright color. Now I see the change that I just made. So keep that in mind. If you make edits to your files after you've uploaded them, you need to re-upload them in order to see those changes.